Johnston with the looping throw in towards the 6-yard box. Adjiman was the one to head away. Dropped back for Bombito. Oluwaseyi across goal, and I'll tell you what, Derek Cornelius wasn't far away from getting a touch on that.
Oluwaseyi offside though, I believe. A little bit early there. Johnson is going to head it, I think, first of all, but he decides to chest it. Oluwaseyi's made the run, can't get back on side. Good though again, constantly moving, trying to get in behind the defence.
If Canada wins today, it would be the first time since the 80s they've won back-to-back games against the United States. And through 33 minutes, Canada hardly troubled by the US. Dane St. Clair has not had much to do at all.
No, very direct, the US, when they get in decent areas. They're just trying to play it down the sides and behind. They've never really found a way to get it into Pulisic, as we mentioned, or Weah tucked inside. No pockets of space. Canada's doing a good job of condensing the lines, and their press, while it's not been massively aggressive, has been very effective. Buchanan, for me, has done really well on and off the ball, and changing his position, coming inside at times to create overloads as well.
US yet to have a shot, let alone one on target. Canada with 4 shots, of which they've had 1 on target, and that was the goal scored by Tani Oluwaseyi, his first international goal in the 27th minute of play. Made his debut in the 0-0 draw against France in June. Weah cutting inside, rolls it through for Luna. This is a good move. It's Adjiman. It is tied. Patrick Adjiman with a goal a little over 10 minutes before half-time to make it 1-1. Adjiman's fine start to his international career continues.
It's the first real quality attack from the US. It comes a bit fortuitously. Buchanan almost intercepts this McKennie pass wide, but it's the United States' best player over the last game and a bit, Tim Weah, that creates this, becoming inside and running at Canada. What a pass as well to Luna, and then Diego Luna's vision to not rush it, pick his head up, look for his partner. Adjiman is excellent. He's in space, he's free. St. Clair gets something on it, but he can't keep it out. And Taylor, the strikers in this game, 2 guys with a lot riding on them in the lineups to score goals, and they've both got on the score sheet. Oluwaseyi with the opener, and Patrick Adjiman with the equaliser, and relief for Pochettino in America.
But here come Canada. It's wide open right now after Adjiman's 35th minute leveler. Ali Ahmed losing out to Tyler Adams down that Canada left side. Adams, the Bournemouth man, forward to McKennie, and this was off the ball and a free kick given.
I think Canada will be disappointed with how quickly they shifted there. Look, as I mentioned, McKennie's pass was not the best. It got there, and as they're trying to shift across to get numbers to stop Weah from attacking the space, the area that matters, they didn't do a great job. Tim Weah saw that opening and really drove at the defence. Then when he drew the numbers, found the right pass at the right time. 2 great passes led to that man's goal.
Luna with an assist as well on that goal for the United States. Adjiman is a wonderful story. I had the chance to catch up with him in January, and he talked about how in the space of 4 or 5 years he's gone from being unselected in terms of getting a college job to playing in D3 college, to then playing in D1 college, to then managing to go pro. He said he always had faith in himself being able to make it. He just needed people to believe in him. And Mauricio Pochettino certainly does right now, because he's given him the start today, and that is now 3 goals for Patrick Adjiman, the Charlotte man, in his first 4 caps.
Yeah, great story.
And he's still very raw, and he would admit that.
Yeah, he is. He's got a lot to learn.
But he provides them with something different in terms of the different profiles that they have in that striker position for the US.
I agree. The raw talents that he has are very workable attributes that usually are in the best strikers in the world. Can he get the other little bits, the experience, the hold-up play, the nuances of his runs, the intricacies, the detail of the runs? All that's got to come for sure. He's raw. But again, he took his chance well there. It wasn't the cleanest of finish, but it went in the back of the net. That's all that matters. And we'll see if it sparked his team. That's what they need. They needed a little bit of luck, a little bit of something just to have a success story to build on. It's important Canada just get back to business and don't allow that to happen.
Canada led for 7 minutes. Chouanier standing over this one. He will play the ball in towards the edge of the box. Scally was the one to head away. Johnston across, but can't get there ahead of Max Arfston, who hasn't seen a lot of the ball in the opening 38 minutes of this game. The Columbus man, who has been given the start today. And it's a free kick here. I think it was a handball.
Yeah. Johnson was hesitant to go through there. He just sort of stood off and thought Arfston had just nicked it and was taking it forward, but it was handball, and it's another wide free kick. Canada had 2 or 3 of these. Chouanier not quite got the delivery right. Can he get this one perfectly placed between the defensive line and Matt Turner?
Chouanier once again taking the set piece. It's a decent ball in, but Adams was there and heads out to the far side for a throw right by the corner flag. If you joined us late, Alphonso Davies went off early in the first half with an injury. Nico Segur came in. Johnston switched across to the left-back role. KJ reporting that Alphonso Davies walked off the pitch with his right knee iced. Johnston with the long throw. He's got good distance on that. Oluwaseyi couldn't get on the end of it. McKennie will hammer it towards halfway. He's not really been in the game so far, Weston McKennie.
McKennie, Pulisic, hardly mentioned their names. Luna's had his moments. He's got an assist, of course. Not been so effective. I think it's indication of how Canada really dictated the play in the game and should find themselves a little unfortunate to be level.
Pulisic trying to help that one through to Adjiman. It's Jesse Marsh quickly there doing the ball retriever's job. Get that one back in play. Marsh, of course, a former US international. 2 caps as a player, 6 years apart with the United States. He was also the assistant manager to Bob Bradley in 2010 and 2011, including at the 2010 World Cup, where they won the group, finishing above England. Lost to Ghana in the round of 16. Here's Kone. Bito back towards St. Clair, with Canada tied up at 1-1 here against the US. Canada taking the lead with Tani Oluwaseyi scoring in the 27th minute. Adjiman levelling up in the 35th. This is a free kick going the way of Canada.
It's a silly foul from Scally. Didn't have to make that. Ali Ahmed was going nowhere. He was facing his own goal, and Scally's trying to put pressure on. I get that, but you've got to be careful you don't give away the foul, and he wasn't.
This is the second time Canada has made the Nations League Final Four. They were runners-up in 2023. After beating Panama in the semi-final, they lost to the United States in the final in Vegas. Here's Jonathan David. David rolls it in towards Ali Ahmed. Back for Jonathan David. Chouanier's ball through, brought down by Alistair Johnston. Lovely play down the left here. Chouanier into the box, cleared away by Scally for a throw. And this will probably be another long Alistair Johnston throw. With 3 minutes to go until half-time. The stands starting to fill up, mainly with Mexican fans arriving for the final of the Nations League against Panama a little later on. Adjiman got a header away. Chouanier back in, flicked on by Cornelius, and then David straight towards Turner, who will get things going quickly. Up towards Pulisic. Bombito came across. Pulisic fouled by Moise Bombito, and that'll be a yellow.
Yeah,
probably a clever one to take.
Clever one. Good turn from Pulisic. Bombito coming over, and thinking Pulisic might run him down the line, which I think Bombito would have handled, but this little spin move here is really good stuff. Bombito has to pull him back, knowing that the opposite side of the field is going to be wide open, and the US had runners, so you sometimes have to take them as a defender. And you've got to be careful now for the rest of the match.
Three of the four defenders got a yellow on Thursday night for Canada in that game against Mexico. Bombito, the first Canadian to see a yellow card today. Well, the US had only conceded one goal in their three previous Nations League semi-finals before that loss against Panama. Prior to this one today, they'd played 7 games in the Nations League Final Four. They'd won 6 and lost 1. 4 clean sheets along the way there. Adjiman's ball into the box, cleared away by Cornelius.
There's no numbers in the box for the US. It was good play from Adjiman. Too aggressive that time from Cornelius, and just got spun by Patrick Adjiman. Only Pulisic as an option, not really in momentum or movement. The way I was watching from the far side, it's been an issue. Even McKennie, you could lay blame on not getting in the box there. It's just been a bit disjointed and erratic from the US from an attacking point of view. Everyone moving around in that front line, but no real cohesion.
Moise Bombito up towards halfway. David. Here's Tejon Buchanan. Buchanan with a cross in, goes off the head there of McKenzie. Scally is down. This is Luna. It's gone out for a throw for the US.
I thought it came off Luna.
So did Ali Ahmed.
Yeah, he got the ball quickly. Ali Ahmed's had 2 or 3 throw-ins now that he's taken really quickly. One that led to the goal. Quickly in and get moving, and again there, that was his aim after what he thought was a deflection off Luna's foot.
We're into 3 minutes of time being added on at the end of this first half. Oluwaseyi making it 1-0. A goal cancelled out by Patrick Adjiman. Patrick Adjiman becoming just the 4th player to score in 3 of his first 4 career US men's national team appearances. The most recent to do it was Eddie Johnson, who goes down in Canadian soccer history for... Well, I won't put you on the spot. He was the first ever goal scorer at BMO Field.
Oh, interesting. Good
Scoring
player
for Kansas City against Toronto
Played
FC.
against Eddie Johnson. Good player.
All the way back in April of 2007. Johnston with a long looping throw in towards the 6-yard box. Head there from Chouanier. Brought down by Ali Ahmed. Luna breaks it up. Skips away from the challenge. This is Christian Pulisic. Inside it goes for Diego Luna. There are options wide to the left. One of them is Tim Weah. Weah trying to get in around the back of Jonathan David there, who got back quickly. So alert to the danger there, Jonathan David, to recover.
On his ex-teammate as well, Tim Weah. Fabulous stuff from Jonathan David. You get that game in, game out, no matter what, from Canada's star man. He'll put the work in. Good ball from Luna again, though, to find Weah. It was an awkward one for Weah to get down, but nice idea from Diego Luna.
This would be the 9th time in 15 games under Jesse Marsh that Canada has been tied at half-time. They've won 2, lost 2, and drawn 4 of the previous 8. Scally with a little header down towards Carter Vickers, and offside given here. Well, Jesse Marsh will have liked a lot of what he's seen from his side. I'm not sure Mauricio Pochettino maybe got the response that he would have wanted. Certainly not at the start of the game anyway.
No. No, they're not the better team. Canada's a better team. Say it's got a little scrappy again, and really in that middle part of the half, Canada were very dominant, playing some good stuff and really penning the US into their defensive half. Since then, it's been a bit more US since the equalising goal. And Canada's got to get to half-time here, make sure that everything's tight and a satisfactory half that maybe could have been better for Canada in terms of scoreline.
Weston McKennie will take this throw for the United States. His 60th cap, the 26-year-old from Texas. He won't get time to take the throw because the whistle goes for half-time, the midway mark of the third-place match. Patrick Adjiman there, the goal scorer that levelled the game here after Canada had taken the lead with Tani Oluwaseye's first international goal. 1-1 at the break at SoFi Stadium.
The CONCACAF Nations League on TSN is powered by FanDuel. Download the app and live bet the red and white every time they take the pitch.
Halifax Wanderers. Downtown is going to be packed with a rocking atmosphere.
For over 25 years, Access Storage has been supporting our communities from coast to coast, protecting what's important to us. Access Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Basketball is a very physical sport. There's so many times that I've got hit on the basketball court. Marks don't hold you back.
Movement leaves marks. Do not antiperspirant shouldn't.
Degree Ultra Clear. Non-stop protection against white marks.
What are you so happy about?
Watching dough rise always fills me with inspiration.
Don't ever look at my savings account. The dough doesn't rise.
BMO has 2 simple ingredients to make your savings rise. Great interest rates and no monthly fees.
Yeah, that would do it all right.
Plus, get a cash bonus for opening a checking and savings account.
So BMO helps your savings grow bigger faster.
Like a triple dose of yeast.
You're hired.
What? Nah, I wasn't looking for it.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
BMO.
Hellman's Spicy. Every squeeze of rich creaminess is deliciously spicy, with a kick of real chili peppers. Irresistible. Hellman's Spicy.
The biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League. The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. The CONCACAF Nations League on TSN is brought to you by Walmart.
Well, after that bad bounce early against Mexico, a good one here to Tani Oluwaseye, who has his first ever for Canada internationally. Huge moment for him. The Americans were without a shot until Patrick Adjiman, Charlotte FC forward, ties things up. Dane St. Clair gets a big chunk, but not enough, and we are even at the half in the third-place game here in Nations League. James Duffy alongside One Soccer's Jim Brennan, our own soccer analyst Kevin Kilban. For his short time with the national team, Oluwaseyi was the guy who got these golden opportunities and could never convert, and this was one that there was almost no chance he was going to miss. But let's take us through the progression of his entire half to get there.
Yeah, well, I think at the start of the game, he started actually with some good movement, James. We know the type of player he is. He causes problems for defenders. He plays on the shoulder. But there was 2 opportunities in the game, actually one just prior to the goal. The first one was Tejan Buchanan down the right-hand side. An excellent ball to play him in. Now, I'm looking at this here, Jimmy, when he's in a position. Carter Vickers is going back towards his own goal. He's in trouble. Checking his shoulder to see where Oluwaseyi is. I think he has to make that run across him. He gets a tap in at the near post. It's a simple goal. It happened again here. Buchanan down the left-hand side this time. Buchanan's getting his head up looking for an option. And Oluwaseyi's just standing behind the player rather than try to make his run across Carter Vickers again, Jim, to give himself a tap in at the near post and the chance goals before it came round to the goal score that he finished at the end.
No, you're absolutely right, Kevin. I mean, look, he's making some good runs, trying to get into the areas, but you're right. Once you make that eye contact with the defender, that's when you got to go the opposite way. Because as you know, when I'm looking at a striker and he's coming, I'm thinking, okay, I know where he is. But the minute that I make that contact, you've got to go the other way.
James, you're in control of that situation as the striker because you can see that the defender's struggling. So you have to evaluate as your winger's in a position, you can see what the defender's doing. He's facing his own goal. So as soon as he's facing his own goal, you can see the defender's number. He's in trouble, isn't he? He's in trouble. And I think Oluwaseyi, I think he just gets the look off the back of it that comes to him. We're delighted he scored and he gets his first goal for the national team.
He needed one like that.
Yeah, he did.
That was an easy one. And so you're in complete control of the game. The Americans were a mess. They hadn't had a shot yet, and the first one goes in. What happened?
Well, it's come from nothing, essentially, because Canada's dominating the half. Canada's playing some great football. Again, not maybe something that Jesse Marsh has spoken about. Once you get that first goal and you are on top, you have to go and get the second goal, Jimmy, to kill the game off. So this chance has come from nothing. I feel sadly for Dane St. Clair. I feel as though he gets a big bit of it, as you spoke about there, James. I think you're relying on your goalkeeper when you're in front in a game. The opposition's going to create chances. Your goalkeeper has got to come up big, and I think he should be saving that. Personally, I think that, Jimmy.
No, I agree with you as well. I feel like he kind of went down a little bit too early. It was a misjudgment for me, because I thought maybe if he stood up a little bit longer, he would have been able to get that. But, again, you've got to give a little bit of credit to that Diego Luna. I thought he's been very good for this American side. He's been causing problems for the Canadians at times when he gets on the ball. Just the way that he drives at defenders and opens things up. And I think that was what they were missing in the last match that they played. Yeah. But overall, I think with this Canadian team, it's been a good performance. And they feel a bit let down that they conceded.
Yeah. We talked in the pregame about the concern over Alphonso Davies' hamstring. It was his knee that he was icing here, which may be concern. Obviously, this is the last competitive game for a while. Alistair Johnston, by the way, we knew this was a possibility before the game. I talked to Alistair this morning and said, had you ever played left back? He said, never in his entire life. I said, how's your left foot? He said, only good to stand on. You guys were both left backs, but with your natural side. How hard is it for a back to play the complete opposite side when he's never done it before?
Jimmy and I were talking about this prior to the game. I honestly think it's generally easier for a right footer to do it to the left side than it is maybe for a left footer to go to the other side. If you asked me to play right back, James, it would have been a no-no. I would have found myself all over the place. But the simple reason when you're playing on the opposite side, it's you're checking the opposite shoulder, Jimmy, aren't you? So you're used to playing a certain way. Everything, if I was a left back or a left side midfield player, everything's coming obviously to this side, and more often than not, your left shoulder's any sort of problem for you. When I'm on the other side, it's the right side. You can't get your body shape right. Everything seems alien, doesn't it?
It's the habit as well, right? When you're receiving the ball on the left and you open up and you see it down the line, you know exactly where you're going to go. But I remember playing a couple of games at right back, and it was an absolute disaster for myself. I think I kicked the ball out of bounds more than I kept it in.
Did you use your right foot?
I tried.
Yeah.
Alistair had a pretty nice cross on that first run with the left foot.
But the thing is, that it shows to me real leadership as well, that he's prepared to do that. I would imagine Jesse's asked him the question, can you go over to that side, and he does it no problem.
It'd be really interesting to see how they use the substitutions in the second half in a 1-1 tie at this point. Don't forget, the one that Canada and the Americans wanted to be in, the final of Nations League, comes your way 9 o'clock Eastern time. It's Mexico and Panama to decide the champion. UEFA Nations League results will finalize World Cup qualification groups. Let's take you there from the action today. Germany and Italy. Bizarre goal in the first half. Jamal Musiala catches the Italians completely napping on the corner, and it's in. and Germany wins, they'll go into Group A with Slovakia, Northern Ireland, and Luxembourg. The Italians will be placed in Group I alongside Erling Haaland and Norway. Portugal and Denmark needing extra time. Francisco Trincao scoring his second of the game. Trincao, as Portugal advances, and will join Hungary, Republic of Ireland, and Armenia in Group F. The Danes will join Group C. Netherlands and Spain. Who else? The teenage phenom Lamine Yamal with just an incredible goal in extra time. Spain goes on to win in penalties, and so they'll go into Group E with Turkey and Georgia and Bulgaria. The Dutch join Group G alongside Robert Lewandowski and Poland. France, Croatia, the French coming back from 2 down on aggregate and win it 5-4 on penalties. France goes into Group D alongside Ukraine, Iceland, and Azerbaijan, while Croatia slots into Group L. And in our game, still much to be decided. 45 minutes to decide third place. As Canada and the Americans, even at 1, will take you to the second half with Luke and Steven right after this on TSN and One Soccer.
The CONCACAF Nations League on TSN is brought to you by Allstate.
Forge FC, a Canadian club with Canada's best players. In a league of fierce rivalries, we are building a legacy, a dynasty, forged in competition. We've taken on giants and come out on top, while forging the future and building the next generation. This is Forge FC. This is Canadian soccer.
Watching dough rise always fills me with inspiration.
Don't ever look at my savings account. The dough doesn't rise.
BMO has 2 simple ingredients to make your savings rise. Great interest rates and no monthly fees.
Yeah, that would do it all right.
Plus, get a cash bonus for opening a checking and savings account.
So BMO helps your savings grow bigger faster.
Like a triple dose of yeast.
You're hired.
What? No, I wasn't looking for it.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
BMO. 19 minutes gone. First start for the 16-year-old to the delight of the York United fans. It is finished now at York Lions Stadium.
Are you having any fun? What you getting out of living? Who cares for what you've got if you're not having any fun? Are you having any laugh? Are you getting any loving? If other people do, why can't you have a little fun? And have a little fun.
For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
The CONCACAF Nations League Final on TSN is presented by the Canadian Premier League. Made in Canada, played in Canada.
The midway mark of the third-place match in the CONCACAF Nations League at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And it is tied at 1-1 between Canada and the United States. Tani Oluwaseyi getting his first Canada goal in the 27th minute, only for Patrick Adjiman to get on the end of a pass from Diego Luna and score past Dane St. Clair to make it 1-1 7 minutes later. Doesn't look like there are any changes for Canada. Matt Turner is out for the United States, waiting for everybody to get in position. And Mexico to come a little later on tonight in the final against Panama. There will be a new winner of the CONCACAF Nations League. Mexico heavily favored in front of what will be a very pro-Mexico crowd against a Panama side that managed to beat the US late to make it into their first CONCACAF Nations League final.
Excited for that final later, but first we've got an intriguing second half here between two sides that want to get one over each other, want to win this game. Canada, for me, were the better team in the first half. US being level at half-time was a bonus for them. More words for Pochettino at half-time to try and motivate, I guess, or inspire his team, his lineup to faster football, more dangerous football, more progressive football. I think it's been very basic stuff from them, relying on moments from players and mistakes rather than real quality, and it looks like there is going to be a change with Fossey coming in at full-back. We don't know exactly who for yet, but
well, Fossey's a right back, so we wait and see if it's just a straight swap. Austin is still out there, so it could be just Fossey for Scally. Fossey is a right back who likes to get forward much more than Joe Scally, much more in the sort of mould of a Serginho Dest than Scally, who stays at home a lot more.
Yeah.
But Fossey coming on for just a second cap. He's born in LA and plays for Standard Liège in Belgium. Third season there, but he played 90 minutes on his debut last September against New Zealand. This is the first time he has appeared under Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah, maybe Scally is an ego, maybe it's managing the minutes of the Borussia Mönchengladbach man. He's also was on a yellow card, look, so might have came into it, but Fossey will get a chance to show what he's capable of down the right-hand side.
Wonder if anything comes into it as well in terms of getting further forward, using the full-back to get further forward. We'll see Fossey, I'm sure, pushing on down that right. It seems as if Luna's started on the right side. Ware has switched to the left.
Yeah, well, Ware was on the left at a lot of times in that first half as well. They've been interchanging, but what has been interesting is that Pulisic has always been in the middle. I thought he might have enjoyed little periods out wide, but no, they're really pushing with the experiment to get Pulisic in the middle and on the ball. And so far in 1.5 games, I know he's played there before, but it's not worked in this Nations League semi-finals and third, fourth place playoff. He's had very limited touches and no space to show the best of him and be effective.
Pulisic with the second lowest touches on the US team in the first half. Only Patrick Adjiman had less. Mauricio Pochettino does like to play him in a more central role, trying to get him involved more. He was always under Greg Berhalter wide out on the left side of that attacking trio. KJ telling us from pitchside that Canada soccer officials were complaining to CONCACAF about the fact that the US were late coming out.
Yeah.
Of course, there was the what was seen as disrespect from Argentina, who decided, I think, to take 23 minutes in that first half-time at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the opener of Copa America before they finally came out. But Canada left waiting here by the US for the start of the second half.
It's a little ridiculous. It happens a lot in CONCACAF. You don't see it other areas of the world. Don't know if it's an officiating thing, or maybe the fine isn't high enough for the larger federations. They don't care about paying it, but ultimately it needs to be sorted. It's affecting the game experience as well for the fans, having to wait on the players.
Kenny's ball forward towards halfway. Chouanier goes down, gets the free kick here. And Chouanier getting into it a little bit there with Weston McKennie.
That should be a sterner word for McKennie, that. He's delaying the game, and ultimately a yellow card would come at some point. I'm not suggesting maybe the first time, but referee shouldn't be letting that go, because Canada want to keep the tempo of the game up. And US at times want to slow it down.
Jonathan David racing forward here towards the edge of the box. He's held up by Weston McKennie. Now this is Ismail Kone. Wide to the right it comes for Buchanan. Buchanan against Arfston. Arfston such a key part of Wilfred Nancy's Columbus Crew success. Fossey looking to head it away. I think that went out for a Canada corner. No, goal kick is given.
Good ball from Bombito to the far post where Ali Ahmed challenges Marlon Fossey for his first touches or moment in the match.
Fossey having a number of injury problems during the last few years. Former Fulham Academy player. Got first called up to the US senior squad for the 2019 Gold Cup. No debut until last year. Turner away to the right side. Carter Vickers plays it down towards halfway. Johnston back forward. This is pushed forward towards Jonathan David. Back into the path of Ali Ahmed. Chouanier. Now Kone. All the way back it comes towards Derek Cornelius. Bombito looking for the crossfield ball towards that far side. Moise Bombito with 29 appearances in all competitions for Nice since his move from Colorado in August. Here's Jonathan David powering forward. He goes down. Everyone looks to the referee. Tyler Adams says no chance. The referee, I think, has given the goal kick.
Well, if there's any kind of contact from Tyler Adams, of course, it's going to be, well, I say of course, after Thursday night, I'm not so sure, but it should be awarded. Let's see it here. Didn't think that Adams' leg connects with David. It's not a penalty for me. Adams is too experienced and smart for that. David's playing for it. He's hoping that Adams wants to come in with a challenge. And you see how he's always trying to get his body a little bit in front and ahead of Adams, enticing the challenge. The Bournemouth man's far too smart for that. There's no way that's a penalty, and Jesse Marsh deep down must know it too.
Tyler Adams playing 90 minutes against Panama on Thursday. Just his second full 90 for the US since playing every minute of all 4 games at the World Cup in Qatar.
I think if there's leg contact for me, if Adams comes in with a challenge or there's a connection between the legs, then of course penalty kick. But in the box like that, it's going to be a blatant push, a little bit of body contact, you might say. And David's trying to play for it, and Adams knows it, and he does really well not to be enticed into it. Jesse Marsh pleading his point. I don't think this is necessarily for what we just saw here. It's not a penalty. I don't think so. I think Adams stops and David comes into Adams' leg. It's not a penalty, but Jesse Marsh will be hoping that he's influenced maybe the next decision.
Jesse Marsh, of course, very familiar with Tyler Adams. What a huge success story he's been. Drops down here towards O'Shea.
He's offside. Coming back from an offside position. Great pressure on the ball from Jonathan David. O'Shea, he's got to hit the target. He does know he's offside. See how he's in the offside position there, and comes back in. He's going to get over the top of that and hit the target. Goes for too much power. Great press by Jonathan David on Mark McKenzie. O'Shea clearly offside.
Tyler Adams coming through the New York Red Bulls Academy, played for Red Bulls 2, then made his first team debut. Jesse Marsh was there at the time, helped bring Tyler Adams through, was with Tyler Adams at Leipzig, was with Tyler Adams at Leeds as well. Very much a Jesse Marsh type of player, yes. Tyler Adams.
Well, I think back to when we first saw him as a young teenager, Luke, in the kit of New York Red Bulls, and just outstanding. Hard push to think about a better prospect that's came through a North American academy, an MLS academy, and made it. Really love to watch him play. He's had his troubles with injuries for sure, that's hampered his his career, I think. But you see the way he's playing at the minute in the English Premier League with maybe the most surprise team in the league this year, Bournemouth, in terms of how well they've done. It's great to see.
His Bournemouth teammate Daniel Jebison on the bench, of course. Here's Christian Pulisic. This is Diego Luna. Pulisic. Johnston looks to clear it away. It will go to extra time and possibly penalties if needed. Here's Jonathan David. He's in round the back of Austin. It's Austin getting back, pulls David down. No penalty.
No contact. I didn't see it in the first look. Felt like it was more of a slip from David.
To be fair, he didn't complain too much this time.
I think as he chopped back and made the turn, it was a nice turn. I don't think there was any contact at all. Jesse Marsh absolutely furious. Here we see it. He's got the pace to start with, and then it just never really settles. Arsene gets back. And
nothing there.
Nothing, is there? He doesn't make any kind of challenge.
Jesse Marsh has been sent off.
Yeah.
Furious with referee Cacho Garcia to what he feels should have been penalty calls, as Moise Bombito tells Cacho Garcia there. Jesse Marsh sent to the stands against the United States, but as you see this here again, David cutting back inside, didn't look like there was any contact.
Zero contact. Look, I mean, you could have an argument that in some ways the first one by Adams on Jonathan David might have been a penalty. I didn't think it was in any stretch of the imagination, but that one there, absolutely no contact at all for me. It's a slip from David. His right foot sort of slides on the turf. He goes down as he tries to check back inside, and I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what the complaint's about, but it's a mistake this from Jesse Marsh. He's allowed his emotions to run ahead of him here, and he's going to be a big miss on the sidelines. He's such an influential figure that now being up in the stands, yes, there'll be a line of communication, but I think how animated he is on the sidelines is often certainly a motivation for his team, and now to not have him there is detrimental to Canada's success this evening.
Jesse Marsh talked a lot at the press conference yesterday about the no call and how much it angered his players from Thursday night. Clearly still front and centre as he makes his way off the pitch.
As we know, this has been building from Thursday night, when Canada absolutely unequivocally should have been given a penalty for Alvarez's challenge on Cornelius. But I gotta say, the second one, absolutely no chance. First one, not for me. Not penalties there, so we've got to be fair, we've got to be honest. And Jesse Marsh maybe clouded by Thursday night and has allowed these emotions to get ahead of him and made a mistake in the heat of the moment, and is now going to watch the rest of the game from upstairs in the posh seats.
Nico Sigur down the right side. Now what about Jonathan David, as we see Mauro Biello and Paul Stalteri there side by side?
Two guys with great experience at international level. Mauro, of course, in the interim period, guiding Canada, being head coach of CF Montreal as well. His brain will click into gear. He's more than capable of being a head coach, so that is an absolute bonus.
Swept in towards the penalty spot. Cornelius couldn't get there. Paul Stalteri, part of Jesse Marsh's coaching staff, coaches at Toronto FC's academy, and was part of that team that won the Gold Cup back in 2000 in the stadium that the team has been training in this week, the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. We mentioned it on Thursday night. The fact that that brought back a lot of memories for both Paul Stalteri and Jason Bent. Stalteri there next to Mauro Biello. They'll be now running the sidelines.
Yeah, good experience. both as players and as coaches, Paul Stalteri and Mauro Biello, as well as the rest of the backroom staff. So they'll just click into gear. They'll be fine down there, but there is a loss losing your leader in these circumstances. And Jesse Marsh now trying to find a spot to watch the game. Don't know where he's heading to. These cavernous stadiums inside, remarkable. It's like a mini city underneath where the changing facilities are.
Clicked on there by Taniolo O'Shea, and Matt Turner can claim above Tajon Buchanan. Well, now there's a little over half an hour to go, and it's still locked at 1-1. The same scoreline that went into half-time.
It was pretty hard to see what Jesse Marsh actually done, Luke. I wonder if it was so egregious that it deserved the red. Seemed like a really quick decision from referee Katia Garcia.
Lovely little ball through. It's Jonathan David! What a strike from Jonathan David to give Canada the lead just before the hour mark. A fabulous finish from Jonathan David.
Magic from David, absolute magic. That's what he's capable of, that kind of quality in the box. The movement, the feet, the way that he can manipulate the ball, get it in position to just come up with the most emphatic finish. Look at this, one touch, two touch, three with the left. The curling straight into the corner. Matt Turner nowhere near it, brilliant. He had the option of Buchanan, which meant that Mackenzie couldn't get really tight, he had to just drop off. And David's so alert, astute, that he knows there he can come inside. Look at that, absolutely fabulous from Jonathan David, Canada's main man. Not many big chances tonight, but he's been involved in the game, and when he gets it in the box, he is deadly. And Canada are back in the lead.
Minutes after Jesse Marsh had been sent to the stand.
who knows how big it can get here.
Well, you've been a part of that. You've been a part of that journey, and I know a lot of people are excited to see you back on home soil. Really appreciate you taking the time. Theo Corbianu here on the Sit Down, presented by Visa.
Clear picture in terms of the ladder by the end of the weekend?
Good question. Top of the table, maybe.
Here's Telford. He grazes off a few and sits down. And what a hit! Maybe a goal of the season candidate from Massimo Ferrin. A blistering volley from the top of the box, and the underman Wanderers lead Pacific. And it is absolute bedlam at the grounds. Billions even in on the celebration. That's how much of a wonder goal it is by Massimo Ferrin. The best of his 5 in 2024, maybe the best of the season thus far.
What a strike this is from Massimo Ferrin. It's Telfer again, who's done such a good job recently of just making something out of not a lot.
Now Ferrari behind everyone, and Gutierrez gets a bit of width. Pops off of Atakubi, and Camargo bursting into the daylight. Warshevsky finds him. Camargo, he sees the keeper. Oh, Camargo! A frozen rope as Toma Vincenzini had joined the attack and could not get back. It's Cavalry 2 and York United 0.
Go la so. That is a finish. Sergio Camargo. Warchewski played that outside the foot. Look at him. Looks up. Barely any spin on that ball when he hits it.
You'd expect that the Whitecaps are going to have something in response in this second half, because I don't think they'll be satisfied with the way they played through 45 minutes.
Camargo unfortunate as the pass from Gutierrez goes off his hand. The Whitecaps take the restart quickly. Montgomery had to be sharp. His clearance though, right to the captain's off the post, and an absolute screamer opens the scoring. Levante Johnson with a laser on a broken play, and that will completely change the dynamic heading into halftime.
Well, I think Vanni Sartini was probably preparing some fairly stern words for his team at the halftime break, and then he...
Well, he wanted to, but he'll take the corner. Just the same. Good things happen when you take chances.
As we near 30 minutes, Vancouver have won their first corner of the half. There are 6 players in and around the 6-yard box. Fry's lifted it up. It's off the post, and it's an Olympic goal for Vasco Fry. What unbelievable whip as he plays it off the woodwork and in, a la Tristan Borges. And Craig Forrest, this BFC side, have a pair.
What's with this stadium and goals going straight in off corners?
3 of them now here.
3 of them is incredible. I mean, you know, you have to put it down to the goalkeeper. You're never going to score off a corner and not be at fault as a goalkeeper. He completely misjudges the flight of it.
That early surge from Forge in the opening minutes, planting a scare for TFC, who have dominated possession and tempo since. This is Bani Bunga, and he's going to try and catch Gavrin out. Bani Bunga! He goes ballistic, and Forge lead in the semifinal.
Oh my goodness, Bani Bunga! Lots of space in midfield. He picks his head up and sees Luka Gavron off his line.
Let's go, White. Play, shouts the referee. Benante steals the ball and scores an absolute worldie out of absolutely nothing at his own stomping grounds. That is a wonder strike for Abdul Benante. The Civic cannot believe it.
Daniel, great to see you. Welcome to the national team. What's it been like so far?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, it's easy when you're with such a great set of people. So, I mean, it's been easy. Yeah.
This has been a big story in Canadian football to have you commit to Canada. Can you talk us through what it was like when Jesse Marsch first reached out to you?
Yeah, I mean, it was very nice of him. You know, he took his time out of his personal life to come and see me in England, and over Zoom and stuff and all these things, just gave me an introduction of what Canada is and what it's going to look like in a couple of years, and he showed me now. It was never him saying, "Oh, come, please come," or something like this. He was just saying the window's open for you and it's up to you. And, you know, he gave me options. I mean, he showed me what it's to look forward to. Yeah.
To some, they see you in the shirt for the first time, in their vision, in their mind, you're Canadian for the first time, but you've always been a Canadian. Yeah. How much have you watched this team, and how closely were you following them even before you even signed up for the team?
Always, you know. I mean, I could never watch the games live because of time zones and stuff like that. I need to sleep for training and games, but I would always go back and watch the highlights, and I was always impressed, to be honest. I was never like, you know, I was always impressed. It was just about the timing, when was the right timing, and I think now it was, and there was things that made it the right timing.
I want to ask you about your mental toughness and perseverance, and where does it come from? Because knowing a little bit about you, you grew up in Oakville, you used to watch Premier League games probably on TSN, and you used to look as a Canadian teenager and go, I'm going to play in that league one day.
Yeah.
And you did. And you know how many Canadian teenagers would say that but don't fulfill that?
Yeah.
Yet you did. How did you do it?
I mean, for me, honestly, like, I was saying those things, like, just because I loved football and, like, I was serious at the same time. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. It's almost like you're manifesting it. But I just always said to myself, I could ask anyone in my family, even when I was like 13, 14, I was still saying, yeah, I'm going to play in the Prem though. And it's just little comments like this. Like, I've always been so confident, but I just manifested it, and I just believed in myself, and I just did everything I can to get there, and my family really supported me, and they believed in me. And, you know, I went out my way to... I mean, my parents actually set me up to go to UK football trials, and that's where it all started from there. And, you know, it was just amazing because there's a whole, I could talk about an hour about the whole journey, but, you know, the two things was discipline and consistency that got me there, man. Discipline and consistency. Without those two things, man, you just can't do it.
You mentioned your parents there, obviously a huge sporting background. Your dad, Patrick, at basketball, coaching. Your mum, Christine, ran track, different. How important was it for those two to set those kind of foundations for you to understand what it's like to become like a high-level athlete?
Yeah, I mean, they have experience, and my dad is one of those guys who are simply like, you know, like athlete freaks, and like they know about it. I will be like that to my son, my daughter, doesn't matter. It's just who we are. So it was great to have him there, and, you know, he's always on me. Even if I have a good game, he'll always be on me. But it's kind of who I am anyways. You know, you have to be on yourself. I always expect more from myself, and I always see, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and say to myself, you know, what can I do better today? Right. Or like, what did I do better than yesterday? You know, that's how I live. So yeah.
Yeah, and you scored in the Premier League at Goodison. You get your first start. You know, that was, and it must have been a moment for you to. But I get the sense though that that was something that you would just move on from pretty quickly. No, you don't get the sense that you're somebody that's going to live on that.
Yeah, no. I mean, when that happened, you know, I knew I was going to score. Like, I literally said it to everyone that knew I was starting. I was like, just give me one chance, give me one opportunity, give me the ball in front of the net, and I'm going to score. And I scored. And, you know, after the game, I wasn't focused on all the glamorous things that comes with it and the show, and I was just focused on the next training session, bro. Like, just focused on the next task and focused on the next job, and that's just how I live by day. It's just who I am. I just live by, I'm only focused on Mexico, you know, and smacking them and winning. Yeah.
And hopefully playing a part, no?
Exactly. Get some silverware for the country, and because we haven't done that in a while, and I really believe that we can. You know, it will be amazing for these group of guys to win their first piece of silverware as well for this country, especially for them because they've been on the journey longer than me. But imagine for me, that would be crazy, you know, to come in and then contribute to winning and getting some silverware for your country.
But they were once where you were too.
Exactly.
And you might be sitting here in a World Cup in a year going, there's a couple of players that I was once that player too. Have you allowed yourself to think about playing in a home World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's there for me. I know there's an opportunity to, you know, go and play in a World Cup, but I promise you I don't think about that. You know, I think about my club, and I need to do my work first, and I need to impress every week before to get there. Nothing is given. You know, I need to earn that, first of all. I need to earn that, and I will. I know I will.
You mentioned about earning it. Honestly, right now, Jonathan David and Kyle Larin have been excellent for this team for a long time. What do you do differently, if anything, from them, and what are you hoping to help complement with them? What do Canadians have not seen you play? What do you kind of bring?
It's very versatile. You see, Fonzie plays in Bundesliga, Jonathan in France, League One, and me in the Premier League. All three different styles of play. So naturally, we all play different from one another, and it's nothing but good. You know, I'm more of a number 9 who likes to work hard and run in behind and be a menace to defenders, you know, and be annoying. So one thing I will say, you'll see me work hard and give it my all. That's a given. So I'm excited.
And try and score some goals. No, that's the feeling you chase, isn't it?
Give me an opportunity. I need to put it away, and I'll just be happy. If I don't, get on with it. Don't cry about it. Otherwise, you'll have a bad game and carry on. Yeah.
Great attitude to have. Yeah, well, enjoy it. Thanks again for this. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the call-up.
Yes, legend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
You're known, you always wear your pink bandana, you have that pink headpiece, and all the kids yelling, can I have it, can I have it? And you're like, this is the one thing I can't give you. What is up with that pink bandana?
It's just kind of become like my good luck charm, and I feel like when I put it on, the destroyer is born. Don't know why, it's my thing. A lot of people have asked me for that headband, but honestly, like, I forgot it one game in the national team, and my manager had to go back to the hotel and back to the stadium because I was like, I can't play, I can't do it. So a little bit of a superstition, but also just that's who Desiree Scott is, pink headband. That's how you recognize it.
Welcome to the Sit Down presented by Visa. Annie Petrillo with you, and joining me a very special guest, a 3-time Olympic medalist, including Olympic champ, Pan American Games champ as well, represented the Maple Leaf with pride for many, many years. That is Desiree Scott. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me here today.
It is so great having you here. And it's crazy that I have you here because, I mean, were you bored with retirement? Like, what happened? Girl, you announced your retirement from the NWSL last fall, and you're like, nah, I'm good. I want to keep playing. What happened?
Shortest lived retirement, I would say. Yeah, I was at peace, like I said in my announcement, with my decision. And I knew the Northern Super League was coming. Obviously, good friends of mine helping to build this league all across Canada. And I got home, I allowed the dust to settle a little bit. And I said, I still got some fire in me, and I want to help grow this game in Canada. It's a dream, honestly. I couldn't pass it up.
So what actually persuaded you? Was it people maybe calling you? Was it just yourself, family? I'm curious to know what kind of made you turn around and go, I'm going to put myself through the grind of training again.
Yeah, 10-week preseason at the tender age of 37. That's not going to be easy for me. No, it was like a mix of things. Obviously, the Diana Mathesons of the world, the Steph Labes, leading the charge here across the league. I had multiple conversations with them about looking to stay involved, what my involvement would look like. I didn't know, but they're like, why don't you just play another year? So those conversations, and not having the best season personally for me in Kansas City, I think I didn't get the playing time that I would have liked to have gotten personally. So I felt like I still had a lot of, like I said, on field, like wanting to still give and finish my career on a high note. And then just the opportunity, not feeling like it's an obligation, but a little bit that this is something I've talked about for years with other national team players. How do we not have a league in Canada? And then to be so close on the tail end of my retirement and wanting to be involved and teams looking to be interested in having me play, it was just sort of a culmination of things that said, you know what, Des, you got to do this.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you take the responsibility of representation seriously, right? Because it's something that the team has been talking about for so long and having this domestic league. And with you being so close to your point of playing, it makes sense that you would be a part of this. So how surreal is it, though, knowing that you actually are going to be a part of the first domestic league for women in this country?
I mean, just that statement alone, like, it is surreal. I think having this opportunity obviously only comes once in a lifetime. I didn't think in my career that I would be a part of this league, but to see it come to life, see it come to fruition and to be involved and on the field, like I'm already picturing opening weekend and walking out at TD Place and just seeing the Canadian fans again. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible.
So you have allowed yourself that moment, right? Like knowing what, like kind of picturing what it would be like to walk out, seeing the fans, having that kit on and knowing that it's a professional kit that's Canada and representing Ottawa, obviously. Do you think you'll keep it together?
Man, I'm an emotional gal, and I think some tears will definitely be welling up. I've got to keep it cool because I'm the destroyer on field. I can't, I'm soft. So, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty special day for sure.
Yeah, you got to live up to that reputation. That is the nickname. So
That's
we
right.
expect it. Speaking of, so what is it going to be like doing battle against the likes of Quinn, Aaron McLeod? I mean, it's so wonderful when you hear, you know, Emma Regan as well. These are players who have represented the national team. Obviously, you, Quinn, and Aaron have done some extraordinary things as well already for the national team. Like, what was your thought even knowing that they're going to be a part of it?
I think that's incredibly exciting. I think, you know, we have arm in arm. We're going to be going toe to toe on the pitch. They're obviously good friends of mine, but to see the caliber of players that are coming to this league, I think it just gains a level of respect. Not only the youth national team players that we're seeing, signings from the NWSL and internationally as well. I think it's really exciting to see who's coming to this league and how it's going to be the first season for sure.
Whenever I talk about this league, there's one word that always comes to mind for me, and that's accessibility. The fact that young fans of the game can go to a game in their backyard, that their heroes, players they look up to, they can buy tickets to watch a game and they're right in front of them. And that's not to say that they don't love the games that happen in Europe and obviously in the States, but there's something different about having it in your own backyard because it's accessible. So what do you think a league like this is going to do for a young player from Winnipeg, Manitoba, who wants to find their place in this game?
Yeah, I think hopefully just inspire them to, one, stay in sports. So many girls drop out early. So hopefully now they can kind of see the pathway towards what's possible for them. I think that accessibility is so important, especially as a soccer player. Like, I love to get engaged with the fans. I love to see girls, boys, families, all walks of life in those stands. And hopefully we inspire them with our play and just to stay involved and see what's available to them.
So I have covered quite a few games and I have seen you take the time, take photos, sign autographs after the games. You are absolutely amazing that way. But there was one, it was a send-off game for Rio 2016. And you're known, you always wear your pink bandana. You have that pink headpiece and all the kids yelling, "Can I have it? Can I have it?" And you're like, this is the one thing I can't give you. What is up with that pink bandana?
It's a superstition for me. If you go all the way back into the early days of Desiree Scott, like I have the pink headband on, and it's just kind of become like my good luck charm. And I feel like when I put it on, the destroyer is born. Don't know why. It's my thing. A lot of people have asked me for that headband, but honestly, like I forgot it one game when in the national team, and my manager had to go back to the hotel, come back to the stadium because I was like, I can't play, I can't do it. So a little bit of a superstition, but also just that's who it Desiree Scott is, pink headband. That's how you recognize me.
Very true. And it's, I guess, I love that. I love that it's the alter ego. When you put that on, you just feel completely different when you hit the pitch. But every time I ask athletes, do you have superstitions? They're like, no, I have rituals. But girl, that is a superstition.
It really
I like
is.
it. Okay,
It
I do.
really is.
I like it. So you've witnessed the beginning of the NWSL 2013. Now, what do you think the NSL can maybe learn from those early years of the NWSL that you feel can help the NSL have the same kind of longevity?
Yeah, I think for me, what comes to mind initially is just standards. I think, you know, we've set the tone on what is expected now in women's sport in professional environments. And I'm hoping, obviously, there's got to be a level of patience in the inaugural season, but I think athletes are coming in now expecting a certain level of professionalism, facilities to be top notch, and hopefully, you know, that recruits a lot of players to recognize that this is a professional league. People in the Northern Super League want to do it right. I've found not only in Ottawa, but all across the board, people who really want to do this right from the get-go. And I think just tapping into some of the athletes who have been in the game for a minute, getting our expertise on things, I think will really help get this league to be successful.
Well, and just speaking of Ottawa and not so much the league, but of course with the team, you're going to be looked up to as a leader. You are a leader on this team, but I'm wondering, when you were a young Desi, who was the player that you looked up to?
It's funny, like I used to watch Diana Matheson, you know, the shorter midfielder, super technical, just buzzing around the field all the time. And she was one of the first players that I started to watch on the national team and could feel like I could emulate. And I also loved Thierry Henry back in the day, the old Arsenal days. He was scoring them goals. So,
okay. Now, who maybe helped mentor you? I mean, I know obviously on the national team you did play alongside Dee. You were also part of that 2012 team that went on to capture the bronze medal in London. She scored the game-winning goal, I know, against France in that game. But was there anyone in particular who mentored you?
You know what? Everyone on the national team took me under their wing. All the veteran players, the Reen Wilkinsons, although I was scared of her at first. You know, she was an onion, a bit of a layer I had to break down. But
do tell.
yeah, she just hurt a bit of a rough exterior. Like she lets you know that you're new to the team, and so that was fun to break that down a little bit. But all the veteran players, the Sinkies, the Dianas, you know, Carmelina Moscato, just a wonderful personality and human, but also just wants to bring the best out of you. And they're all my good friends today. So not only did they help me on the pitch, but we've become really, really close over the years.
Yeah, that was a great group, you know, and I've had a chance to speak with Rhian a couple times. Very cerebral. Like, it doesn't surprise me that she got into coaching and is able to do what she does. Sometimes the way she breaks down the game, I'm like, you need to pause. I thought I knew what I was talking about. Like, what level are you on right now? Did she always come across that way too? Like technical in that sense?
Very tactically sound. Like just always could read the game, be able to describe the game. Like I'm someone who can like go and just do with action, but to be able to break it down and help your teammates navigate the game and how to make those changes, I think she did an incredibly job. So her as a coach, no brainer.
Yeah. All right. I know that you're getting set here, training camp and the season to begin, and you're back into playing, but I do have to ask, I'm wondering about post-playing ambitions that you feel the NSL could set you up for. I'm wondering if that's kind of something you've thought about.
It's definitely on my brain, what's to come after this season. And I think what's lovely specifically about Ottawa, and one of the main reasons I wanted to go there, not only to help build the league and grow, but they're willing to show me a little bit of behind the scenes of what it takes to build an NSL club, from broadcasting to, you know, marketing to communications to community relations, like everything that it kind of takes. I think I would love, in my dreams, I'm a proud Winnipegger, would love to bring a team in expansion draft to Winnipeg. So to help sort of build this league and continue to watch it grow and help have a hand in that. So what that will be, I don't know, but I would love to just gain a knowledge about the sport and how I can be involved in that aspect.
A lot of talk as well when it comes to the NSL is how it can help strengthen the national team. And I mean, again, you're somebody who represented Canada for many years without a domestic league. So how do you feel this can help? And maybe even just the current state, obviously now finally getting to name a new head coach. Just what are your hopes for the future of the national team?
Yeah, my hopes are that more Canadians stay in Canada now that we have that option. I think a lot of talent sometimes can get missed. But now we're going to be able to showcase that week in and week out all year long. So I think it's just getting eyes on the talent that's within our border and hopefully allowing them to shine, and more Canadians can have that opportunity to represent the Maple Leaf.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, fascinating to see what this league can do for the national team, because what you were already able to do on an international stage was incredible. Now that it can have this proper feeder system, I think this is what is making a lot of people excited. And not to put pressure on your shoulders or anything, but knowing that you're a leader on the Ottawa Rapids team, like, do you kind of understand your mentorship as well for players who could possibly be representing Canada one day, and you could help kind of shape and mold them?
I think that's what's really exciting. Again, another reason why I wanted to come into this league. And I got a few texts when my signing got announced from players on the team, like, I can't wait. I've been watching you for years. Like, and now I get to play with you and learn from you.